Madridistas, sit down. The moment of truth has come. The air in Madrid is heavy, charged with an electricity that goes far beyond the anticipation of a new season. In the corridors of Valdebebas and the offices of the Santiago Bernabeu, a cold war is underway. This isn't an overt crisis, but a tangle of silent tensions, calculated decisions, and uncertain futures that threaten to implode the Real Madrid project from the inside out. On one hand, the return of Rodrigo, a recent hero relegated to a role his pride won't accept, with the echo of billion-dollar offers still ringing in his ears. On the other, a statement from the heart of their biggest rival, Lewandowski's praise of Xabi Alonso that sounds more like a fire alarm than a pat on the back. As if that weren't enough, the board shocks the world by putting a price tag on one of its pillars. Forget everything you thought you knew about the start of this season. What we're about to uncover is the anatomy of a club at the height of its power, but on the verge of identity collapse. Buckle up, like, and turn on notifications, because each following paragraph is a step deeper into the eye of the storm. Here, the truth hurts, but it's the only thing that matters. And if managing egos in attack is Xabi Alonso's first major test, the second challenge comes from where no one expected it, from the heart of Catalonia. From the mouth of one of FC Barcelona's greatest recent icons, Robert Lewandowski, with the precision of a surgeon, delivered a phrase that echoed throughout Spain. Xabi Alonso can become the best coach in the world at Real Madrid. At first glance, it seems like a noble gesture, a rare acknowledgement from the enemy camp. But in the psychological chess game that is El Clásico, nothing is that simple. This declaration is a gift from the Greeks, a stun grenade with multiple targets. First, it places monumental pressure on Xabi Alonso's shoulders before he's even completed his first official month in charge. He's no longer just the promising new coach. Now, in the eyes of the world, he carries the endorsement of a historic rival, an expectation that can turn into a crushing burden with each slip dash up. Second, Lewandowski's speech is a brilliant smokescreen. While Barcelona faces its own internal demons, with financial problems and a squad undergoing restructuring, the poll shifts the focus, placing Real Madrid in the spotlight of absolute favoritism. Xabi Alonso, true to his cerebral and restrained style, didn't take the bait. His response was public silence and hard work behind closed doors. He knows the real battle isn't in the headlines, but in building a winning mentality immune to distractions. The question is inevitable. Was this an act of sincere recognition from an experienced athlete, or the most sophisticated provocation to destabilize the beginning of a new era in our technical leadership? The pressure on Alonso isn't just coming from outside. Inside the Valdebebas offices, cold, calculating decisions are being made. And the next name on the chopping block could be one of the fans' favorites. The news hit like a bolt from the blue. Eduardo Camavinga has a price, and it's €80 million. This isn't mere speculation, it's policy. Real Madrid, under Florentino Perez's philosophy, operates with an efficiency that borders on ruthlessness. The message is clear: no one is untouchable. Camavinga, the midfield engine, the symbol of grit and versatility, the young man who personified the post-Casemiro transition, is now seen as a marketable asset. The internal justification is that the club needs to maintain financial health and a balanced squad, avoiding the accumulation of players in the same position. With Valverde established, Tchouaméni as the defensive pillar, and the eternal Cruz dictating the pace, the Frenchman's space has become a battlefield. The decision shocked the Madrid fans. Selling Camavinga isn't just getting rid of a player, it's giving up part of the team's recent identity. It signals to the market that even young talent, who seem to be the foundation of the future, can be sacrificed on the altar of pragmatic management. Fans react with a mixture of disbelief and fury on social media. Memories of hasty sales, like those of Hakimi and Degard, who shined at other clubs, come back to haunt them. Are we becoming a selling club? Asked the most angry Madridista. The decision is in your hypothetical hands. Would you accept the €80 million, trusting the club's management to reinvest? Or would you fight tooth and nail for the permanence of a player who has already proven to have Real Madrid DNA? Rodrigo goes his presence on the squad list for the championship's opening match. Should have been a formality, a routine detail. However, in Valdebebas, his name rang out like distant thunder. It's a return that hides an abyss of uncertainty, a fragile attempt at normalcy in a completely destabilized scenario. The truth is that lightning has returned, but the storm surrounding it is far from over. Let's be clear, Kylian Mbappe's arrival wasn't just a signing. It was a seismic event that redefined hierarchies. Rodrigo, the Champions League miracle worker, the undisputed starter who carried the torch so many times, saw his status shattered overnight. Xabi Alonso's call-up is, at its core, a political move. It's crisis management in action. An attempt to tell the player and the world, he's still one of us. But does Rodrigo himself still feel this way? Inside sources speak of a player with wounded pride, an athlete who isn't content with being second or third choice up front. He doesn't want to be a luxurious supporting player. He yearns for the leading role he's earned through sweat and decisive goals. While the coaching staff tries to calm tempers with promises of minutes and opportunities, Europe's biggest sharks continue to circulate. The offers that arrive and were discreetly rejected during the transfer window haven't evaporated. They're just waiting for the right moment, the first sign of public dissatisfaction. The first time Rodrigo sits on the bench for a crucial match. Manchester City knows his potential. PSG sees him as a strategic asset, and in England, his name is synonymous with market opportunity. Madrid fans are at an emotional crossroads. Abandoning a recent hero seems ungrateful. Keeping him against his will could be a shot in the foot. This call-up isn't the end of the saga. On the contrary, it's the beginning of the most tense chapter. The question that remains, Madrid fans, is a burning one. Are we witnessing a genuine reconciliation, or just the fulfillment of while a pillar of the present is placed in the display case on the training grounds? A jewel of the future sends a clear message. The throne will not be empty. Amidst the climate of tension and uncertainty, a moment of pure magic occurred. Franco Mastantuono, the 16-year-old Argentine prodigy, stopped Valdebebas. It wasn't a goal. It was a declaration of war. The account leaked by those who witnessed the scene is chilling. In a reduced field game, surrounded by experienced defenders, Mastantuono received the ball with his back to the goal. With a subtle touch, he spun on his own body, humiliating his marker, and before a second defender could arrive, he unleashed a guided left-footed missile that crashed into the top corner. A momentary silence was followed by applause and expressions of shock, even from the veterans. Toni Kroos is said to have approached the youngster with an approving smile. Xabi Alonso, arms crossed, watched with the intensity of someone who knows he's holding a diamond in the rough. This move is much more than a beautiful goal, it's a symbol. At a time when fans fear losing talents like Camavinga and worry about Rodrigo's situation, Mastantuono emerges as the antidote, a breath of pure and genuine hope. He represents the promise that Real Madrid's talent factory continues to churn. Officially, he still plays for Castilla, and the club is urging caution not to burn him. But the truth is, the noise he's making is deafening. The pressure for him to be integrated into the first team, even if only gradually, has already begun. He's living proof that, even amid corporate strategies and power plays, football, at its core, still belongs to the chosen ones. Fans, lacking homegrown idols, are already embracing him as the next big name to wear the white jersey. The question that fills us with anticipation is, are we facing yet another promising prospect? However, the hope that emerges with Mastantuono contrasts sharply with the growing anguish surrounding the true king of the current squad. The most worrying news of all, the one with the potential to cause the most profound damage, negotiations for Vinicius Jr.'s contract renewal are stalled. This isn't a simple financial impasse. It's a tug-of-war for the club's soul. Vini Jr. is no longer just a player. He's the standard bearer, the symbol of resilience, the hero who faced racism head-on and responded with dances, goals, and titles. His importance transcends the pitch, and that's precisely the point of contention. Sources close to the negotiations confirm that the gap between what the player is asking for and what the club is offering is significant. Vini and his staff understand that he deserves a contract that positions him not only as one of the highest-paid players in the squad, but as the most valued player, period. It's a matter of status, of recognition for everything he represents. With Mbappe's arrival, which inevitably attracted a huge amount of media and commercial attention, Vinicius wants his role as technical and spiritual leader reaffirmed contractually. Real Madrid, for its part, is trying to maintain its rigid salary structure. fearing that making such a large exception for Vini will create an uncontrollable ripple effect. In the locker room, the mood, once celebratory, is now apprehensive. The specter of painful departures, like Cristiano Ronaldo's, once again haunts the minds of Madrid fans. Losing Vinicius Jr. wouldn't just be losing a star player. It would be losing a piece of the club's soul and recent history. The final question is the coldest and most painful of all. Is there a limit to how much Real Madrid should pay to keep its greatest symbol? And if that limit is exceeded, are we prepared for the consequences of seeing Vini Jr. in a different jersey? What we have before us is not a collection of isolated news stories. It's the portrait of a giant at a crossroads: Rodrigo, Camavinga, Vinicius. Names that gave us indescribable joy are now pawns in a game of power and money. Real Madrid is in the eye of its own storm, that only found here.